Say from you, I don't know. You're my queen, I'm your king. I can't find your denied shadows fall. Now feel alive. I'm denied every dream you said to me. I'm not scared. You're a sound in the baddest memory. Now I'm born again with my friend. Try to leave me for I'm dead. I will find myself, kill my fears, and you get loud. So wanna see you are suffering. So wanna feel you alive and free. So wanna see you up in the sky. I'm gonna kill you until the sun. So wanna see you are suffering. So wanna feel you alive and free. So wanna see you up in the sky. I'm gonna kill you until the sun. Now I'm born again with my friend. Try to leave before I'm dead. I will find myself, kill my fears, and you'll get loud. So wanna see you are suffering. So wanna feel you alive and free. So wanna see you up in the sky. I'm gonna kill you until the sun. So wanna see you are suffering.
All right. Who's ready for some modding? I am.
So wanna see you up in the sky.
Just had to finish food. Hello, Veek, Connor, Nedas, and of course, Christopher Egg, popping in to say hi 20 minutes before the stream started. Nice guy. How are you guys? Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. We are gearing up to we really need anything else. I guess a gateway, and that's it. I'm doing fantastic today, man. I did a late night stream, late night for me, which is like 7 p.m. now, which is crazy. I've been getting up at 6 in the morning, which means I've been going to bed at 10, my time. So 10 at night. And it's weird. It's weird being an adult again. And not staying up until like all hours of the clock, 5 in the morning or whatever. As I was doing so like 2 weeks ago. But feels good. Feels good to be as productive as I have been. This will be the 4th AI that we've completed this week, I think. I don't remember when we started on the Renegades. But I remember we completed them, I'm pretty sure it was this week. And we did CAG in basically a day, and the Overmind in basically a day. And then yesterday night, I started on Aldaris. I only streamed for about 2 hours. Today we're going to finish him. I also worked on him last night after the stream a little bit, and this morning a little bit going into before the stream. Didn't feel like waiting till the stream started. I just had to keep going. But you know how it is. Just gonna fill in some more places for me. Some more blocks here and there. So after Aldaris is done, we only have 3 more AI to do, and Icor's been working on the Icor's been working on some stuff related to the slot switcher, which basically takes human slots, like player 1, player 2, player 3. These are all humans. But if the human player isn't there, the way that the game works is that the game actually sets that race, or that the owner function, controller of the player slot, to null, which is why units don't appear and triggers don't run. So what he's going to try to do is just make a patch and have it so that the game sets it to computer instead. So units will still appear, and triggers will still run, and alliances will still work, and all this other stuff. So we have some pretty good stuff coming up just from that alone. So with that functionality, once we have that, we don't have it yet, but when we do have it, it'll be really easy for me to just pop in here and make AI for players 1 through 3 in this case. So the Phoenix in the middle, Tassadar on the left, and Raynor on the right, in that order. And then once we have that, we're going to have it's going to be so easy for me to test this map, because I can play as any one of the factions of the human players, and we'll have an AI. And so in theory, I can do the same thing with all the other ones. So if you ever wanted to play the first Zerg mission as Redwood instead of the Auburn color, or whatever I don't remember what the color is for the human player. But if you ever wanted to play as the other human player on the high ground in that map, you should be able to do that now that we have this functionality in. So that's what I hope ideally will be able to happen. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, no kidding. I'm going for it, man. I'm definitely gonna be releasing this map soon. I think once we get, I'm gonna work on some custom terrain, not this stream, but later on in the week. I think over the weekend or something. I want to. Wait, what day is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Friday. I don't know that I'll be able to do a stream for Hydra tomorrow. I probably won't be able to. But Saturday I will be able to do it one in the morning before Fraud Night. And then on Sunday we should also be able to get one done. But either way, I'm thinking we're only going to need 3 or 4 more streams to finalize the AI. And that's assuming I'm only working on the AI during the streams. So when I'm not working on stream, I should be able to get a bunch of work done on the tile set, continue the decoration process, fill in a bunch of these areas, you know, all that stuff. That's what I want to try to do anyway. Because it is a very barren on the top, which is... That's the aesthetic I want to go for without it being low detail, you know what I mean? Aldaris, I have the bulk of... I'm definitely over halfway already. Turn that one up. I have his main town's base layouts, his build thread, his define max, defenses, and upgrades. I just finished those. All I have to do is idle order spellcasting, but other than that, it's gonna be it's pretty chill. I think we're gonna have a gay old time here. See if this works now. Seems to. We'll close it and open it in a second. I just need to go find the others. Long list of assets. Oh, I'm way far down. We'll find it eventually. I hope. Clone this real quick and then we'll be on our way. Okay, I don't think I received any from iQuery yet, so I'll test that when he sends me some. I could be wrong about that, but... try that one on for size.
Those are good. And what else?
Did I want to add anything else?
Oh, yeah, I did. I wanted to take the...
Raised jungle stuff.
They overstayed their welcome with that one. It's a very long album. Let me find something more exciting. Here we go.
Alright. So what I wanted to do... Oh, it looks like I never ended up painting height for this. I thought I was going to do this after I finished Aldaris as AI, but apparently I'm doing it right now. I won't get too much more sidetracked. We'll be back with AI in just a moment. Gonna have to test the pathing on this to make sure that it's actually reasonable. Glad to see I was very consistent. Oh boy. And then I'm just going to reopen this program, make sure that it doesn't corrupt the tile set. I think we can turn the heat down a little bit. What's up, Don? What's up, Ikeware? If we have time to implement Psi Mastery, that would be a great upgrade to have. Considering the situation. I think it would be really nice. I'm not sure. I mean, the thing is, with Protoss stuff, they can at least read the tooltips. Maybe I would be less reticent to include a bunch of new upgrades and stuff for Zerg and Terran. Well, Terran, there's no hostile Terrans. But hostile Zerg, like, I was worried about, for example, Metastasis. If we can get it so that the passive icons for the... You know how, like, I have the icons for muscular augments or metabolic boost or any of these other speed upgrades for the Zergling and Hydralisk and stuff like that? If we can get those to show when you bring detection over to a unit, an enemy unit, and you select them, I think that would be helpful for this. But I don't know what you think about that. Like, do you think that's feasible, or...? What is VF4? What does that hold? Veek, you overwrote the changes that DF made again. I can't import text files anymore. Is there a limit to how many we can have in a tile set? Or do you mean like add new kinds of flags?
And when you do lunge, I mean, you gotta put the whole hip into it. Hello, puncher. Hello. Hello, puncher.
Throw pictures. Oh, that fucking destroys me. I sent you DF's workbeak. If you want to take a look at those and figure out what's different between yours and his and try to cross-pollinate the fixes, that would be great. If we could add new flags though, that would basically mean that we could do stuff like you know, more height levels or whatever on the tile set level. It's too bad that that's not possible. I gotta take a look at some of this stuff later on, but I definitely think it should be feasible. Well, I hope it would be feasible, but we don't really know, I guess. Yeah, but you said we can't add new flag types yet? Like, that would be a different extender or something? Right, yeah. So that's probably how we're gonna have to do it. Which is fine. I mean, painting a height manually is better anyway, I think. Yesterday evening, somebody gave me the suggestion to increase sight range in addition to the weapon range for units. I'd like to do that if they're on like higher ground or whatever. I don't know what you think about that. Just like +1 sight range, I think would be fine. Yeah, Don, in my Warcraft 3 stuff, I significantly reduced the resource costs of things, especially food costs. and build times. The idea being you can, since units are much less resilient, it's a lot easier for them to die, so they need to be a lot easier to make. So they need to be quicker to produce, cheaper to produce, and I also shrunk them down scale-wise so that they would it would make a bit more sense to have them, you know, with the structures that they have. Like the barracks size compared to the footman or whatever is kind of ridiculous. Peasant compared to a farm is obviously ridiculous. Like, shrinking them down helps with that, but it also helps with, you know, their collision and stuff. Yeah. I did all that stuff with my, my little change a little while ago. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, like, even for jungle, I might want to add, like, a sunken pit type terrain, at which point you would want to have lower ground for that. But I have avoided doing stuff like that because of the fact that, you know, the way that the height works. Honestly, I was even thinking of adding, like, a 0.5, where it's, like, raised to jungle counts as, like, half of a height level, but the thing is, like, we don't really have control over that. And, like, ramp tiles could be considered 0.5 as well. And then, like, when you're actually at the apex of the ramp is when you get the full height advantage. I don't know what you think of that, but for me, that was an idea anyway. Alright, so before I get started on the spellcasting for this guy, I also need to, well, after the spellcasting, I'll do his expansions. After his expansions, I'm going to do his attacks. And then it'll be done. But I have to pee first, so allow me a moment. Shall be back momentarily. returned. Gotta clear my fucking throat, apparently. But yes, I saw the question there, Eichler. I do want I do want the hype bonuses to stat. I don't know what this fucking bug is, but man, is it annoying. Or it just sometimes comments, it looks visually commented out in Notepad. I think I made my footman 60 health or something. I can just send you my files. What a fucking... My DMs with DF are some straight psychosis. Where he sent me a fucking package of icons for Toddborn last year, and... Or I guess it was... No, it was earlier this year. And my only reaction was... And he just responds with like a deadpan reaction with no response at all. So that really sums up our interactions. Hey! That's why I don't use Discuck. I just need it for Psi. PsyOps. Psi search. What the fuck is this? This is really far back. I have no idea where his shit is, so hopefully this one has the changes. I found one, but it doesn't seem likely that it's gonna have the changes, but let's see if that works. Glad that this program auto joins me every single time. Wait, wasn't I just in here? Trying to see what was the most recently updated file. Looks like I did all this stuff around the same time. It's not me entering them. I'm, and their voice channels, not chat channels, obviously. But it's not me entering them. The OBS automatically enters them for me. I don't know what you mean by DC Marvel stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've watched it, but what is the... Was it just... I thought you were talking about stuff related to Warcraft. So, I didn't touch heroes in that document, or in the file that I sent you, but you'll see all of the stats for the units anyway. And it is fully functional. Although the AI still builds heroes, and I was going to remove them. So it's functional. Not complete, not polished, of course. What I was going to do eventually was just remake all the races. I wasn't going to be using the default races, because I was going to make my own setting. As far as the... see. Yeah, what's up, Ultras? No, it's just me spinning. Another thing Discord likes to do is every time I relog into it, it resets all of my notification settings. Normally I have all that shit on disabled, but... So you don't normally hear any of it. It's pretty annoying. Yeah. For heroes, I would recommend doing something similar to what Icor said. The thing is, like, in a campaign context, what I would probably do is make it so that the hero's level gets reset at the beginning of every mission. So that you actually have a peak and a valley, a rise in the gameplay, based around creeping. Just like in Melee. I was going to play around with that. I don't know what the story context would be behind that. I think it fit into the narrative where I was going to be justifying it by way of, like, the hero gaining strength the longer the battle went on, but then with a prolonged amount of time away from battle, he would return to a baseline. And there might have been some ways that you could counteract that to some degree. Like, there was going to be an overworld map where you could pick your next mission, and the travel time to the next area would dictate how many levels he would lose. But for the most part, you'd be starting out at like level 3, level 4 as a baseline at maximum. And you'd still have to go all the way up to like 20 or whatever. Like, I don't think there was going to be a cap per se. But his abilities were going to be completely different. Like, I think one ability I had for him was he... Actually, I don't remember any of these. Maybe I still have the documentation somewhere. It doesn't look like I wrote down his abilities anywhere, but I did have some abilities planned for him and actually implemented. I think his basic ability was Animate Dead, because he was supposed to be a death mage, and Animate Dead worked differently than in the Death Knight one, where it just raised invulnerable units. It would raise one corpse at a time, and it would be the same unit that it was when it died, and I don't think it was going to expire. I think it was permanent. And it could also cast all abilities that it had before. I think the only difference was workers couldn't build their own tech trees. That was the only change. Everything else worked as you would expect, though. I'm not sure how you're gonna do the whole item thing, but hopefully that works out better than Blizzard's insanity. Oh, Ikewear, we didn't figure out ways to make the hallucinated units like Reavers and Carriers work, did we? Or do they retain the same amount of hanger units that they had? Like Scarabs or Interceptors. I'm just thinking of whether or not I should... Thinking of whether or not I should tell the AI to hallucinate Carriers and Reavers. I'm pretty sure they keep the subunits by default, but I don't know if the damage is still dealt by them. Which is the main concern. I think Reavers might work, but I don't know about the others. Yeah, so it's probably not the most recent version of it. I'll just ask DF to send me his latest. Yeah. Well, it might be in the binary file, but I don't know how he edited that if it's a binary file. I don't think it even is it? I guess it is compiled. Punk Buster! No, I don't think those guys have... those guys are only really interested in Counter-Strike stuff. They're not interested in RTS. And it's better to keep business and pleasure separate, as they say. I think it's health, but I don't always forget what the command is, or the delimiter is, or whatever it's called. Yeah, health. It doesn't work, it has the same issue as before. I mean, I can try it again, but I had the same issue before when I was using your updated version. It says expected a megatile header. It has a megatile header. Yeah, I know it worked before. It only bugged out after the most recent changes that you did. Yeah, they're gonna use, what I'm gonna do actually is I'm not even gonna have them use it defensively. Can I do self in combat? I don't remember. It's gonna be pretty rough around the edges, but I think it will work. Assuming self in combat works anyway. It's more a defensive cast, but it's defensive for the Arbiter, and I'm gonna attack at Arbiters, so. I think I would rather have an actual, like, algorithmic thing to do that, though. The issue is I don't want it to be, like, a set-piece thing. Because then I have to, like, detect if they're in a location and do, like, a bunch of other stuff. I feel like there's too many failure points. I don't want to worry about that if I don't have to. Oh yeah, if you do like self-tile flags. Walkable. Check the syntax. Nice. I guess I should have I should be checking orders if the orders are, wasn't there an order one? Yeah, order. If their order was like computer idle or whatever, that would be when they would use it. Guard. But is it guard or is it... most of these seem to be 2 instead of 160. So. Try that, see if that works. Not a bad song. Not bad at all. So what did I decide here? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, How many are there?
Understanding the stimulus response pattern. When you have certain experiences, you respond with various emotions. Stimulus response. Just as this sort of stimulus produces this sort of involuntary muscular response.
Yeah, that would be some real insane stuff, I think.
suggestion of a complex mental process, but you get the idea. Cause, effect. Nature endows us at birth with three general patterns of emotional response. Rage is the response to the primary stimulus of force, something interfering with our behavior or action. Fear is the response to loud noises or losses of force. And the emotional response to love is usually the result of a show of affection or people cause us to respond emotionally.
Okay. I think we're good there. Yeah, I oftentimes decide, like, how many defensive structures and how much they value terrain advantage and that sort of thing, based on their personality. Most AIs, like, the problem right now with Brood War in general, as far as how that impacts the way that AIs build their stuff, is there's usually an optimal way to play and an optimal way to build your stuff. And so, because of that, most AIs will end up seeming relatively similar. Like, there's only so many ways you can be different with your building placement while still being effective and remotely close to being optimal. And that's where I think the biggest issues come from, is that it feels like there's kind of a lack of creative freedom when it comes to most of that stuff. And I don't think it's really that big of a deal in the end. At the end of the day, it's just, it is something that would be it would be nice to, you know, change that up a little bit. What's up, Connor? Welcome back. I do think that for the most part, you'll see a lot of the same stuff for now, and then you know, as time goes on, things will evolve. Because there will be more mechanics at play. Or how they build their structures and in what order and in what pattern. You'll probably see some AI that somewhere down the line that are going to be more skimping out on their static defense. But those same AI will also like to build a lot of expansions and stuff. So they basically just protect them a little bit less stringently, so that there's more of a chance that even if they get picked off or whatever, they have like 5 other bases being set up. Whereas there's going to be, like, most of the AIs that I've made so far are a bit more conservative with how they approach things. But some of the Zerg AI obviously behave a little bit more like what I was just describing. Once we have more tools to play around with, like the new updated building algorithm, where it'll automate a lot of what I'm doing with base layout, that's going to be pretty nice, because what we're going to see is we're going to be able to define different rules for the AI, and they will build their stuff in a certain fashion, like specifically designed to, you know, some AIs will prefer building, you know, production structures in front of defenses as part of their way to add barriers, and then other AIs are going to like overbuild tech structures like evolution chambers or engineering bays or stuff that's cheaper but less vital if it does go down. So it really just depends on like cost effectiveness, like what the AI values more than, you know, what another AI might, and that sort of thing. It's nice to be working with Protoss after writing so many Zerg AI in a row. Just a quick change of pace. Any ideas, Zyquire, if you'll be able to look into the guard morphing for, or like morphed unit guards like Archons and Guardians and stuff like that, not going to their proper positions? Because that would be really nice to be able to fix. But... Oh wait, these aren't. These are Legionnaires. Easy to get those two confused. I've got to get a better placeholder graphic for them.
Welcome! We've got first class seats, watching the world go down in gravity trails. Nature's revenge, with the trashes of the earth. Every man for himself. We're bound to fail. The human race vanished and decayed. The rivers dry out. We burn down the fields. The forest the earth. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
No, Ivan. No anime allowed. But how are you?
Resources increase. Burn their surveillance. Everything sticks to itself. Animals have failed and solid in cruelty. Rainforest dies. Acting solely.
Some old god art, huh? Interesting.
The rivers dry out. We burn down the fields. The forest the earth. Oh no,
Right, Iquare, I agree. I think the biggest issue comes from the fact that you don't really ever get to the point where you have a strong storytelling tool when it comes to working with a lot of the ways that the AI will actually engage with you. You can't really tell them, like, you can't really show the player what the AI really likes to do without a lot of hand-holding on the AI's behalf. That's got a lot of failure points, like we were talking about with the Arbiter recalls and stuff. This is a special version of the last Protoss mission. It's not going to be the actual final cut, but it's for Mapperino. Ostensibly, anyways, assuming we make the date. Yeah, it's mostly an experiment, but I think it's coming along. Void. That was the easiest base to do. We got two more. They're gonna be a little bit more complicated. I think he's gonna have more Legionnaires than Zealots for sure. Okay. See you later, Connor. Thanks for hanging, man. Yeah, there should be some sort of idle tactics for using Legionnaires, and if you have 2 Legionnaires or more, well, if you have at least 2 Legionnaires, they should be targeting the same unit as opposed to anything else. That's got to be down to the player to do on their own, but AIs should probably have something similar to what I just described. Legionnaires only cost 1 supply. That's their biggest advantage. I think they still cost 100 minerals, and they take a little bit less time to build than Zealots, but their biggest advantage is that you can build 2 of them for the price of the supply cost of 1 Zealot. So that's why they're slower and have less HP and less base damage. But also, if you just spam them, like, they're bound to reach their target, obviously. I think when coupled with Clarions, once those are actually in the new game state, you'll see a lot of usage for that. But Clarions could also be really useful for Zealots if you just toggle them on and then rush a tank line. You'll see the effectiveness. So, redistribution of damage will definitely be nice.
Scapegoat for society to let the riots rage.
That covers everything here. Yeah, it's not ready to be tested just yet. Very rough around the edges right now. But soon I shall call upon thee. Never heard of it. But if it's an RTS, then I'll probably run it eventually. I want to at least try all of the RTS games, even if I don't end up completing them, like Dark Colony or Metal Fatigue. Oh, this is... I think that's fine. That's 14. So wait, how did I get 1, 9, 4, 8, 9, 12, Yeah, Aldaris will research all those upgrades. Eventually I'll play it. I haven't even played Age of Empires though, beyond the fourth game, so. I mean the third game. So I'm not too interested in playing Age of Mythology until I complete the Empires line. But it will be done eventually. Well, from what I understand, Age of Mythology is exclusively 3D, so I already doubt that. But maybe that was just the third game. Yeah, the biggest problem with that franchise overall is how schizophrenic it is in terms of like trying to figure out what version to play. As an outsider who's never experienced the franchise, I'm totally out of my fucking limits when it comes to that. Oh wait, I think I already had this placed. Kind of surprising that they're even bothering with, you know, doing that for Age of Mythology. No, what I'm saying is I don't know if the definitive version is actually worth it. I need to do some real research on that. And the same thing is true for Age of Empires 2, because it's a week away from release. So you got this fucking... You have a week away from this like updated version, the HD edition or whatever. But then there's also some re-release and then the original. So I don't know what the fuck it is. Africanized Age of Empires. I gotta Q-tip some here, guys. I'll be right back, I gotta use the bathroom. So, one of the other things I was thinking about when it comes to Age of Empires is that there's like 10 billion expansions. So. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with that as well. Thinking. Yeah, I have, but I haven't done the code for the morph to the Stargate alternative, so I don't think I'm going to be using them in this map. I really don't like the placeholder graphic I have for them as well, so I don't really think of it as like a huge loss. Oh yeah, I have a lot of ideas for stuff like that, but until we get the data extender for that, I don't really want to start working on the Saga of the Zitzen stuff. That's gonna probably require some bank data shit that works for briefings as well. But we'll see how that works out. That's all for later, I think. Alright. 10 million guards later. One of my ideas, which is mostly a fucking prank, I think, is I'm going to take the frauds and I'm going to use Starcraft 2 assets for all of them, which should be pretty funny. So. I just need one more. And then we'll do the guards for the main, and then we will do the attacks. So should be able to get all that done. Yeah, in a way, it's going to be similar, but the frauds are like Warfield is actually from StarCraft 2. The joke there is that fraudulent Protoss are from StarCraft 2. Like StarCraft 2 Protoss are frauds. But it's a very in-your-face joke, an obvious one, but it's also like there's not going to be any dialogue that reflects it. Like they're going to pretend that they're a brand new race basically, but they're actually frauds. That's the ultimate joke. Oh wait, did I even put in the... No, of course. Alright. The last expansion. And I have to do the randomizer, but that's fine. Easy enough. Yeah, 1 is Principality, 2 is Warp Anchor. I was interested in asking you, actually, I don't know if you're interested in doing some stuff for Toddborn again, but I'm going to be restarting the development of that project next week, I think. Depending on how much work we still have left to do for this, obviously. I'm not going to rush into another project after the fact. But it would be nice to get some more robust work done with that. I was thinking of turning it into a MOBA in a sense, where one player would be a MOBA player and the other player would be macro, similar to what we described for this. But I also understand that's a lot of like technical work underneath, behind the scenes. So we can probably find something that's easier to do on a technical level if you would be interested in that. Otherwise, I can just make do with what you have. You've done for me already for that project. I think I'm going to shrink the hitbox of the Legionnaire a little bit. Make it easier for them to squeeze around one another. I'll shrink it compared to the Zealot, of course. requested the other reroute already. Yeah. Should be everything. One issue with requesting so many guards is undoubtedly the fact that the AI will probably still replenish them even after the town that created the request is dead. So if you wipe out a base, they may start stacking it if they take the base again. And even outside of that, they may continuously throw shit at you. Or if you take the base or whatever. I'm not really sure how that will work out. All right. Let's... Thankfully, I get to copy most of this stuff, so this is no issue. Where the max number of gateways an expansion was going now? Oh no, this only matters for. Oh wait, no, it does matter. So I think that was 5. That's 2. Or that's 3. That's 2. Sorry, 5. Should be good. I think I'll just do the guards for his main now, and then we'll take a break. And I am going to finish Half-Life 2 today, so that'll be in like 45 minutes. So I'll take a break in like 12 minutes, we'll say, at 11:30 my time. And then we'll start at noon. Half-Life 2, that is. But we should be able to get the guards down, and then it'll just be attacks, which I can finish up later today, and then he'll be done. Very exciting stuff, because that means I can move on to the AI allies. I wonder why we've been getting so many sappy love songs lately. Got to copy over some code that will tell the AI to rebuild transports. Its maximum number of guards just from what I've pre-placed so far is over 330. It's 338 supplies, over 300. That's pretty nuts. Odds are it's not going to have all that stuff up anyway, so that shouldn't matter. Honestly, I was kind of thinking about removing the supply cap altogether. I feel like if you can get to a point where you have over 200 supply worth of units and you can sustain that, why should you stop? Like, from a balance standpoint, I don't know if it actually was... For one, I don't think Blizzard really intended it to be an actual balancing point. For another, I don't know if it's actually that big of a deal when it comes to balancing. Like, I guess the argument to be made in terms of 1v1, in terms of melee, is that it balances out in such a way that you don't experience... you don't get to the point where you're, like, able to snowball even further if you already have an army advantage. But I don't really care about that. Like, I think it's fine if you snowball a little bit. So... Like, if you can maintain that much of an army, that's fine. So once we get the unit extender, the unit quantity extender, and have as many units as we want on the map, no issues. I think I'm just going to remove the supply cap entirely. Can't do it right now, but I think it's fine. Fraud emoji. Are these all legionnaires? Oh no, these three are zealots. Veek, if you have a sec, do you want to see if you can find out where in the code the error is called for that pie tile thing? It's like expected megatile header. Just search for megatile header in some of the files, see if you find any matches. Might be all you need. scouts. Bing, bing, bing. I need 5 more. My journeys. I think I missed that Dragoon as well. I can send you my the file that I was trying to import. What is oh. Wow, that's fucking good. Holy shit. So you can basically develop a bunch of extra stuff on top of it, like with no issues at all. That's crazy. Super exciting. Yeah, he'll have trainable Dark Templar. I think he's gonna be he'll probably be the only one. I don't think Phoenix will have it. But I don't know, we'll see. Like, if Phoenix doesn't have any unique tech, it feels silly to disable tech for him, so I think they'll all be able to train Dark Templar, and I think only Dark Templar, though. I don't think Archons or Corsairs, because we haven't actually implemented the changes for those yet. Okay, let's try this. No, it looks like it still says the same thing, Veek. Unknown line format, expected a mega tile header. Augurs would be pretty neat, actually, but yeah, I don't think... if you can figure out how to make the AI turn one... Like, it would basically be morphing like Zerg units, but for Protoss. If you can figure out how to morph one High Templar into an Augur, I can just make it so that they require an Arbiter Tribunal or something, and that way he can only warp them in once he has all that super advanced high-tech stuff, instead of making the Grand Library. And then maybe Phoenix could use those instead of Dark Templar. Maybe they just require Templar Archives. I don't know. But either way, that's for... We can figure something for later. That Samace Reed thing that you were just talking about, though, that's super exciting. We'll see what happens. I'm going to bail out of here for now. We're going to be resuming Half-Life 2 in about 24 minutes. So I'm going to use the bathroom again, maybe get some more food, and see you guys in just a short little while. But thanks everybody who tuned in and watched and hung around while I grinded out most of Aldaris' remaining AI stuff and tested some stuff for the Python modding suite updates. I'll be catching you guys later on. Veek or Iquare, if you guys have any updates for me on tools or whatever, obviously feel free to DM me them, and I will get back to you whenever I can. Mwah!